By the end of this video, you'll know whether waiting for the iPhone 20 is the smartest upgrade move you can make. The early reports point to a major redesign, hidden front sensors, new display tech, bigger endurance, and serious camera gains. Here are the 10 biggest details. Start with the biggest shift. The iPhone 20 is shaping up to deliver the cleanest front look Apple has ever shipped. Multiple sources point to a near edge-to-edge panel with the border reduced to the point where, straight on, it looks like pure glass. A nearly bezel-free screen with a subtle curve around the perimeter. Not a dramatic wrap down the sides look, but a small radius that visually removes the frame. The goal is simple. When you're watching video or scrolling, your eyes don't land on a boundary. It just feels like the content is floating. The first question everyone asks is practical. How do screen protectors work? And does a curved edge mean more accidental touches? If Apple goes this route, they'll need tighter palm rejection and a new protector style that seals properly without lifting. Still, the core point stands. The front is likely getting a once-in-a-decade refresh. There are two paths being discussed. One option is a small hole punch camera, while the Face ID hardware sits under the panel and only becomes visible when it's actively scanning. The other option goes even further. The selfie camera also sits beneath the display, appearing only when you open the camera app or authenticate. Either way, it's a move away from the current kit-out approach, and it's clearly aimed at giving you uninterrupted viewing. The name being floated is Color Filter on Encapsulation Display Tech, which is basically a new stack approach that reduces layers and improves efficiency. The rumored benefits are brighter output, better color, improved contrast, and a thinner panel overall. Thinner isn't just a vanity metric. A slimmer screen assembly can free internal space, and internal space is everything. That leads perfectly into Leak 4. The idea is that the side controls would feel like they click, but they don't physically move in the same way as traditional buttons. Apple has done this kind of thing before with earlier designs, and the appeal is straightforward. You gain reliability because there's less mechanical wear, you reduce openings where dust can mess with the click, and you potentially reclaim tiny internal volume. Small gains add up when you're stacking improvements across an entire chassis. The expectation is one of the largest cells ever used in a standard slab-shaped iPhone, helped by those space savings from the new build choices. Numbers being mentioned land around 5,500 mAh, depending on size and model strategy. The more interesting part is the chemistry angle. Silicon anode battery designs are increasingly common in the wider phone market because they can pack more capacity into the same physical volume. In plain terms, you can either keep the same size and get more endurance, or keep endurance similar and shrink the pack. Apple would obviously prefer the first. It's not just about how long it lasts in a day. Silicon-based approaches can also improve long-term health, meaning the battery holds up better after years of use. If that happens, it's a quality of life win that you feel in year 2 and year 3, not just on day 1. The iPhone 20 is widely expected to run an A21 Pro class chip, and the big detail is the process node, 2 nanometers. If Apple lands a 2 nanometer part on time, it generally means two things: higher performance and better efficiency. Efficiency matters because it's the multiplier for everything else. It affects sustained speed, heat, and of course, how much you can do before you reach for a charger. And it's sneakily important. Reports point to 3D stacked RAM, described as a mobile-focused high-bandwidth memory approach. The practical promise is more throughput at lower power, which helps on device processing, heavy multitasking, and more advanced photography and video pipelines. You might not brag about RAM at a party, but you absolutely notice when your phone stays smooth under pressure. Apple started moving toward its own cellular hardware, and by 2027, the modem inside the iPhone 20 could be another generation ahead of what we're seeing now. The expected benefits are better efficiency, stronger signal handling, and improved satellite features were supported. Even if you never use satellite messaging, modem efficiency still matters because radios can be a major drain in weak coverage areas. A better modem means fewer battery hits when your signal is struggling. And this one's huge if it happens. The claim is Apple could move to a custom HDR sensor for the main rear camera, rather than relying on the usual suppliers. The headline number being discussed is up to 20 stops of dynamic range. For perspective, recent iPhones sit much lower than that. If Apple really pushes dynamic range that far, it changes how highlights and shadows are handled, especially in tricky lighting like bright windows, night streets, and mixed indoor light. Now, temper the expectation in a smart way. Even if the main sensor gets this leap, the ultra-wide and telephoto lenses may not match it immediately. Companies often roll the best hardware into the primary camera first, because that's the one most people use most of the time. Still, if the main camera becomes dramatically better at HDR capture, everyday photos could look more natural, with less blown-out sky and less crushed shadow detail. The iPhone 20 lines up with the 20-year milestone, and the window being discussed is the usual fall launch period, September or October 2027. That's the pattern Apple likes, and it fits the anniversary positioning people are expecting. Now, there's one more topic everyone cares about: the price. We don't have reliable numbers yet, but history gives a clue. When Apple makes a major design jump, pricing pressure tends to follow. New panel tech, underscreen components, custom silicon, and big camera moves all cost money. It doesn't mean the price must spike, but if you're planning ahead, you should assume there's a real chance the entry point rises. So should you skip the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max? Here's the clean way to think about it. If your current phone is struggling, your battery is cooked, or you genuinely need a new device for work, waiting years isn't practical. But if you already have a solid recent iPhone and you're mostly chasing the next big leap, the iPhone 20 is shaping up like a true generational shift. A new front design, hidden sensors, upgraded screen stack, more endurance, faster internals, and a potentially massive jump in main camera HDR. The key is to watch how these reports evolve. Some details will lock in, some will change, and some will get pushed to later models. But the direction is clear. Apple appears to be building toward a milestone device that looks and feels meaningfully different, not just slightly improved. The iPhone 20 is shaping up as a milestone device: a cleaner, nearly borderless front, hidden front sensors, a thinner next-gen panel, haptic controls, and a serious push in endurance and speed. Add a potentially custom main camera sensor and improved connectivity, and waiting to upgrade could actually make sense for many people. So here's my question. If Apple delivers that clean glass front and the bigger endurance, would you wait until 2027, or would you still grab a nearer upgrade? Tell me what you're using now and why. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.